tallest of 7 hills in Florida's capital city, covering every corner of the Big Bend. This is the award-winning News 20 at 5 Live.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of News 20 at 5. I'm Shakoria Burns.
And I'm Giovanni Hampton.
The Florida House will vote on whether to end the use of red light cameras. The House Appropriations Committee voted to approve a bill that would ban red light cameras in July 2019. Opponents of House Bill 4027 says red light cameras help traffic safety. The bill heads to full House next. The Moultrie, Georgia Police Department are investigating 2 shootings that left 1 dead and another person injured. The first shooting occurred at First Avenue and Southwest 7th Street. The second shooting happened nearby at the 100 block of Southwest 4th Street. Both victims were identified as black males. Colquitt County officials confirmed that 1 man was dead but would not release his identity. MPD asked that the Georgia Bureau of Investigations take the lead role in investigating of the shootings.
Yesterday, Tallahassee residents had their last chance to register for the Florida presidential preference primary election. Multimedia journalist Shakoria Burns has the story.
You're good to go. We'll send you a new card.
Residents were urged by the Leon County Office of Elections to change their party affiliation from independent to either of the 2 major political parties. Supervisor of Elections Ion Sancho discusses more as to why it is important for small party affiliations to change their affiliation for this election.
If you do not have that party affiliation by your name by midnight tonight, you're not eligible to vote in a closed primary, i.e. Florida.
Because Florida is in a closed primary state, only voters who are registered members of the respected political party candidates, such as Republicans or Democrats, are allowed to vote in the presidential preference primary election. With over 30,000 residents in Leon County registered as independent for their party affiliation, many Tallahassee residents have taken action in order to have their voices heard in the primary election. Residents such as Charlene Walker took the initiative to change parties in order to vote. Walker tells us more about her story.
The last several elections that I wanted to vote for someone that was not in the party I was affiliated with.
According to the Leon County Office of Elections, over 1,000 Tallahassee residents were able to change their affiliation before the deadline. For News 20 at 5, I'm Shakoria Burns.
For more information about voters registration, please visit leonvoters.org. Tallahassee Community College will be opening a new site in March. According to TCC officials, the Gadsden Center will be operational by March 22nd. Located on Pat Thomas Highway, the new Gadsden Center will offer GED preparation, English courses, and classes that are currently being held at the TCC's Quincy House. In addition to being steps away from the Gadsden County Career Source office, the center will provide programs that will aid students seeking job placement.
Live.
Good evening and welcome to News 20 at 5. I'm Giovanni Hampton. Andrews Law Office added 19 workers to a lawsuit against management and owners of Northwood Center. The law office claims environmental issues at the Monroe Street building caused health problems for state employees. The Florida Department of Management Services says bat feces, roof leaks, and water damage caused the contaminations. There are a total of 22 plaintiffs now. The Tallahassee Democrat released a strongly worded opinion piece today concerning the leadership at Florida A&M University. Live in the studio is Shay Simon, who has more on the story. Shay.
Thanks, Giovanni. In today's article, the newspaper says they believe there is major dysfunction in the leadership at FAMU. The article included the demotion of the Vice President of Finance without prior briefing to the Board of Trustees. The story also questions the recent Student Government Association elections and re-elections. After repeated calls, we were not able to get in contact with the FAMU Office of Communications. Live in the studio, I'm Shay Simon. Back to you.
Thanks, Shay. A 75-year-old woman was found dead inside of a Tallahassee mobile home after it was destroyed by a fire. Tallahassee Fire Department officials arrived at the Walkabout Lane home last night and found Ruth Jones inside. Jones' death was ruled an accident, but officials continues to investigate the cause of the fire. TFD believes someone was inside when firefighters were battling the blaze. Leon County School Board members held their bi-weekly meeting where various projects and issues were outlined. Multimedia journalist Shakoria Burns has the story.
But I stood strong. I didn't get caught up with the crowd.
As Leon County School Board members began their meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and Thought of the Day, several budget issues were discussed concerning construction and renovations to different Leon County school sites. Georgia Joy Bowen, Vice Chairman of the Leon County School Board, discusses more on site renovations.
So once that information is discovered and it goes through the vetting process to see who's next in line or where the greatest needs are, then that information comes to us as a board for us to approve.
Vice Chairman Bowen also acknowledged the absence of Superintendent Jackie Pons after an incident at Killearn Lakes Elementary School. According to Leon County School Board officials, it involved individuals target practicing in a nearby wooded area where their projectile smashed out a school bus window with 4 students aboard. No injuries were reported. Communications Manager of Leon County Schools, Chris Petley, discusses more on the incident.
Kind of informally sat with the principal and assistant principal and a couple of the law enforcement folks, just as we do whenever we have a situation at a school, to just go around the room to talk about things we did well, things we can improve upon.
The Leon County School Board continued preparation for the next school year. After the Killearn Lakes Elementary School shooting incident, Leon County School Board officials will meet this afternoon to discuss prevention issues ensuring school safety. For News 20 at 5, I'm Shakoria Burns.
For more information about the Leon County School Board meetings, as well as safety procedures in Leon County schools, visit leonschools.net. Tallahassee local pastor Rudy Ferguson took a stance against crime yesterday morning with a community rally. The rally took place on the corner of Alabama Street and Harlem Street in the Griffin Heights neighborhood. The rally is a part of the Do Good for Your Hood campaign, which addresses the crimes going on in the Tallahassee community.
Be afraid of our own people. We love one another. Our grandmothers grew up here. Our grandfathers worked here. Before this, we even had paved roads. Before we had paved roads, used to be red clay, dirt roads. And I remember those years when dates used to grow and things of that nature. But we're here.
Live.
Welcome to News 20 at 5. I'm Giovanni Hampton. Nearly 70 students are being hospitalized after an accident occurred that involved a semi-truck and 2 school buses. A Jackson County, Florida official says the driver of the semi-truck was taken to the hospital by ambulance while several students were airlifted by a helicopter. The officials say the students were a mix of elementary, middle, and high school kids. JCS Major Donnie Branch says students were transported to the hospital by parents and by bus. In other educational news, teachers and students at Leon High School are remembering the golden moments of a drama teacher after his sudden death. Live in the studio is Shay Simon, who has more on the story.
Thanks, Giovanni. A drama teacher at Leon High School has died. A housekeeper found Rod Durham's body at a motel in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Durham was a drama teacher at the school for 19 years. He was also a 2014 contestant on the TV show Extreme Weight Loss. Durham was 52 years old. Live in the studio, I am Shay Simon. Back to you at the desk.
This week, Leon County public school students are on spring break. Officials say safety awareness is an imperative key in the community. Multimedia journalist Taylor Watson has more on the story.
Spring break is a time when many students like to cut loose and forget about exams for a few days. But unfortunately, focusing on too much fun and not enough on personal safety can have tragic consequences. Encouraging kids to stay busy with positive activities, accomplishing educational studies, and interacting with sports will minimize the chances of anyone getting in trouble. Recreational leader Natchez Dickey explains some ways that kids can be involved in a safe environment.
Really, a lot of these kids have a place to go besides being out there in the streets. A lot of times what we see here is a lot of kids try to run with the older crowd, and they will get caught up, just doing stuff that they don't have any business doing. So here we try to provide different activities, organized sports for them to get into.
This is a great time to connect with youth, help future leaders stay safe, and teach them the importance of giving back. Maya Mitchell, a volunteer of Lawrence Gregory Community Center, shared tips about how kids being productive will influence their future.
During spring break's a time where they have a lot of free time on their hands, so we like for them to come in and do something productive with their time and not just, sit around at home and stuff. We like to teach them to do things here that they can take back with them into school and benefit them for their future and for their life.
Spring break used to be a week-long vacation that friends used to take, but now violence is occurring more than ever before. For News 20 at 5, I am Taylor Watson.
For more information about spring break safety, visit leonschools.net. The Leon County Public Library held a health seminar on Monday. The topic was 5 habits for a healthy life. Local health officials spoke about habits adults should incorporate into their daily lifestyles. They expressed the urgent need of the nutrition, stress management, and pain relief. The purpose of the seminar was to encourage the community to monitor their daily intake of foods with artificial ingredients and implement healthy life choices. Designated to individuals in Northwest Tallahassee. While some areas of the park is still under construction, that has not stopped the influx of visitors to the city's newest attraction. Local residents, young and old, are enjoying the park's baseball field, nature trails, and playground. Senators were given an opportunity to act upon Senate Bill 250, which creates equal opportunities for parents in special situations. Multimedia journalist Shakoria Burns has the story.
Senators were able to make a final choice on Senate Bill 250, Family Law. The bill creates equal custody for both parents who are divorced. While various senators were for the bill, Senator Arthenia Joyner did not support the bill, stating, "Each case is different. Each case comes with its own unique dynamics." According to flsenate.gov, child custody cases would start with legal presumption that both parents would equally share child care unless a judge makes a finding in writing to modify the arrangement. Sponsor of the Senate bill, Senator Tom Lee, discusses more on the importance of the bill.
So this was just an extension of that on the time sharing side to make sure that we have no biases and prejudices in the system when parents are in a family law setting, that both of them are treated equally, and then we give the judge all the latitude that they need to make a decision as to what is in the best interest of the children, because that ultimately ought to be what drives the outcome in the case.
Senator Lee hopes that the members of the Senate could understand how court and the family law court cases works, so they could create a way to assist judges and not limit the ability to make decisions. With the finalized passing result of 23 yeas and 15 nays, Senate Bill 250 is now awaiting its first hearing in the House of Representatives. For News 20 at 5, I'm Shakoria Burns.
For more information on Senate Bill 250, visit flsenate.gov.
Tuesday was a big night in politics as the Democratic town hall took place in South Carolina and the victors in Nevada's Republican caucus was announced. Democratic candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders talked about the racial injustice facing African Americans. Republican candidate Donald Trump won the Nevada caucus with Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz trailing along. This marks Trump's third consecutive win in his campaign. On to the Supreme Court battle in Washington, D.C. Republicans are not budging on their stance to reject President Obama's nomination of a new justice member. GOP senators plan to reject any planned nominee appointed by President Obama. In a written vow from the Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee, they stated no confirmation hearings, votes, or a courtesy meeting will commence to replace the conservative Antonin Scalia.